Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. Let's get started. Just introduction music to get started. Happy Monday, guys. I know Mondays it's hard because we lost an hour, over the weekend. Um, I thought that we were gaining an hour, but we actually lost an hour. So it feels a little weird today. But in any event, I'm here and just be here early today, earlier. Um, I got to the gym, but not as long as I wanted to be there. But any event, I got there. Trying hard. You know, not just the gym, but, eating better. And then I fall off and eat something else, and then back at the gym. So back and forth. So, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had a great weekend. Um, Hope you guys had a great weekend and that these messages are resonating with you and helping you. Please share these messages, subscribe to the channel because we're in a time where we need to upbuild each other. Um, I just see so much toxicity, guys. It's too much. It's spilling over like a volcano to the point where it seems to be the norm for people to be disrespectful, rude, obnoxious, all on the toxicity side. And I try to keep myself away from that. Like I said, this healing journey is not easy. And sometimes when you see all this stuff around you, it makes me relieved that I am on this healing journey because I see a lot of negativity going on right now. And I'm trying to do everything in my power to keep myself away from it. So, guys, uplift yourself through music, self care, even watch uplifting videos, and do things that makes you laugh. Laughter is important and self-care is so important with everything that's going on in the world right now today. So guys, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion today. And the topic is healing and respect. It's so important to keep healing. To even if you fall down, don't be hard on yourself. Just get back up. Remember the metaphor I talked about, like a baby learning to walk. The child know that he or she is supposed to walk. So they don't give up. They fall down, they get up, they fall down again, they get right back up, and they keep trying and going. And then one day they walk without falling. And that's how this healing journey is. We don't know where to start. Basically, I encourage everyone to start with a therapist, and just check out a few and one that resonates with you, then use that therapist and go, from there. Because I didn't know when I got on this journey where I was going to start. It's like that metaphor I use of a box of puzzles of the pieces, and you don't know what the picture is until you start actually putting the pieces together. That's how this journey was for me. Still is to a certain point, but it's more visible than it was when I first started back in 2020. So, guys, one day at a time, one step at a time. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. The key factor is to get started and to take steps. Like I always talk about, I didn't know, even with therapy, how I was going to just take care of myself and heal from all the pain, the grief, and the trauma bonding and stuff. So I asked God to help me. And I made some vows to Him, vows that I can keep. And I also asked God, as I take a step, please, in this direction, please help me. Don't leave me, please help me to continue. And that's what I do. Take a step here, take a step there. and God does the rest. And He has been doing that. And I am so grateful for His grace and mercy. I'm not religious. I'm not here to give a religious speech, but I am connected to God. And it's the best thing that could happen to my life after everything that I've gone through, more so connected to Him today than ever. And I have that inner peace, is what I was striving for. And I don't let things get to me the way it used to. Guys, and one thing I want to encourage you, as you start to get on this journey and you start to find creative ways to heal and to take care of yourself, never allow anyone to devalue your worth, because set boundaries, because sometimes people will, the disrespect that's going on in this world today. Continue to work on healing, because as you continue to work on healing, you start to self-love and self-care. And as you start to do these things, you're going to support yourself, stand up for yourself. You're not going to allow people to treat you any kind of way. you know um for me, one of the things that I really detest is disrespect, especially when you're giving respect to those individuals and they're being highly disrespectful and just dismissing you like you're insignificant. And so for that, set boundaries. And when it comes to, for me, disrespect, I will address it once and once only. And when it happens again, I cut off, block, and delete. And if I have to be in the presence of this person due to, you know, business or fiduciary relationship, whatever, um, I if I don't have to verbally interact, I just pretend that they're not there, no matter what the case is, because disrespect to me is just, to me, I just don't have any tolerance, zero tolerance for it. No one should have to put up with disrespect, you know. Even though it's all around us in the world today, people just, the toxicity level is high. And things can't continue like this, it's just out of control. Set boundaries, and when people start crossing those boundaries, remind them again. For me, like I said, I will reiterate those boundaries, and then at a certain point, I cut off, block, and delete. And my silence is not a game or a joke, because once I get to that point, that means that I've done everything within my power to, try to find out what's going on and negotiate the situation with the person. But if they still want to be on that toxic level of being disrespectful or whatever, and I know I haven't done anything to this person or individuals, then what I do is just cut off, block, and delete, and I just go silent, because I don't have time for it. Because let me explain to you guys about, going off the deep end with people. Then you are inviting in their toxicity in your space. And if you're in a space of truly healing and healing all this stuff, you don't have time for that. I know I don't. And I'm not going to invite that in my space after I've done all this work to heal, heal myself, to have inner peace, to be at a place of peace, even though we are in a time of turmoil and toxicity. Staying in prayer, meditation with God, and looking to Him for direction. I'm not going to let someone pull me out of all the work I've done to engage in some toxicity because they feel some kind of way. We all have something, you know, and we all have to work on something within ourselves. And some of us choose to do so, and others choose not to. And that's their decision. We all have free will when it comes to healing or not healing. However, we don't have to put up with anyone's disrespect, no matter what position or level that they are in or at. No one should be disrespected just because. So for me, if it continues, I just go silent and I just don't interact at all, basically. Give respect to others and Make sure that it is given in return. Give respect to others and make sure you're getting that back in return. Otherwise, you don't have to deal with disrespect from anybody. Love yourself enough to know what's for your highest good and what's not. And you don't have to settle for anything that's not for your highest good. And another thing I want to talk about here when I said about devalue, there are people in this world right now that's on a hate train. And hate could be due to gender, race, etc. But this is a OPP, meaning other people's problems. These are not your problems. And when you start to heal and self love and self care, you start to realize that you don't have to allow anyone to make you feel insignificant just because they on a hate train. Let them ride that hate train. You don't have to engage in whatever their issue is. That's their issue for them to resolve, and it's all around us, right now. It seems like it's around us more than ever. And what I do is stay in prayer, keep myself away from the toxicity as I see it. I do a detour from it. And I just see behind the mask, see it for what it is, and just pray for folks. One of the things I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about bitterness, and I'm like, to the best of my ability, through my own experiences, what I was sharing with her is that it is never okay to stay in a place of bitterness, because here's what happens when you stay in a place of bitterness. I had to learn this. This was a hard lesson because people have done so much to me in the past, betrayals, lies, just malicious stuff. And it's easy to get to a place of bitterness, especially when you don't deserve it and people take your kindness and generosity for weakness. And so I understood where she was going with this conversation because I was there. I was there for a while, bitter and angry. Um, but let me tell you about bitterness. If you stay in a place of bitterness, you're trying to heal all these things, you can't heal, because what happens is that the person who caused you the pain did all this toxic stuff to you and put you in a place of pain, deep pain and grief. You can't, if you stay in a place of bitterness, they keep the power over you and you can't heal because they take that power. Because if you're in a place of bitterness, you can't heal. And if you can't heal, you can't self-love, self-care. And then you can't move over. You can't close the doors to the past and move on to your new beginnings because you're stuck in a place of bitterness. God may be trying to help you and open up doors and blessings. But if you're over here being bitter about what this person did to you last year or the year before or 5 months ago or whatever, if you fixated on that, you can't see your blessings over here that he's trying to show you. You can't close and padlock the door over here because you're still in a place of bitterness. You haven't healed that. And it took me a longer time to heal because of that. Because when I start to really understand, what that was about, it took a while. And it's okay to cry. And men who may be listening to, don't let anybody tell you that because you're not being a man because you don't cry. Let me tell you, crying is a sign of strength because it's an outlet for pain. It allows that pain that's an outlet for the pain. That means the pain doesn't stay stuck and stagnated within you. You know, we have to have an outlet for that pain to go so that it can pass through and we can heal and learn lessons and move on. Like I said, all of these things that happen, and I had to look at these things from a different perspective. People, situation, and circumstances come into our life for a reason, season, lifetime, or lesson. And for me, many of these things were unlearned lessons. And when unlearned lessons are not learned, we have to repeat them. And the sad thing about it, when we repeat them, it's worse than the first time. If we have to repeat it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, it's going to be worse each time that lesson come back around. A different scenario, different characters, but the same lesson. And once I realized that, guys, sorry about the table. If I Once I realized that, I got off that Ferris wheel that was going nowhere fast. Learned the lesson so I can close and padlock those doors, and move on. Because as you let go, you know, the forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you, it's for you, so that you can take your power back and you can heal the pain that was caused to you by these individuals. And then you can say you learned those lessons, and those doors can be closed and you don't have to repeat those lessons. Now, and with me, I had to ask God to help me. I stayed in prayer a lot. Please help me to get through this, because you can feel stuck like a chokehold if you are not forgiven, if you're not learning lessons. And what I had to do is learn them, forgive, because the forgiveness is for me. And that's what I told this friend. The forgiveness is not for them. The forgiveness is for you, so that you can move on. You can close that door. And that way you don't have to repeat that lesson again. And when we learn in these lessons in the beginning, when they come in front of us, they're always red flags, our intuition. So please trust your intuition. When something doesn't feel right, and you get that feeling inside, that's your intuition telling you there's something quite not right with this particular situation. Listen to that, because it's going to lead and guide you and protect you from anything um, that may lead to that's going to hurt you. Listen to those red flags, never ignore them. And that's what I do now. If something don't feel right to me or whatever, I just leave it. Because I wasn't doing those things before. I was making excuses for people, situations, and circumstances. And now I see behind the mask that these people were wearing. And when that lesson looked like it's about to reappear, and I see it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And then I close that door. But over here, I ask God to open up new doors, new beginning, new people, because as you start to self love and self care, you start to see things from a different perspective. You start to see those things that you didn't see before, and you go, aha, yeah, I see what that is. All right, I'm going to move away from that situation. I'm going to move over here, because this is better for me over here. You start to make better decisions in your life, and you start to see these lessons. And if you've, like me, been through 1,000 things over and over and over again, you start to see what it looks like. And that's why I'm on here sharing with you guys, because I've been to hell and back and then some, over and over and over again. And so the things that reappear, I see those things and I'm not repeating them. Those doors are padlocked and closed, and I move over here. And God has been patient with me and helped me so much as I take these steps. As I take steps, he's taken 2 and 3 on my behalf. And he will do the same for you as you ask him to help you. Put God back in on the table, put him back in the equation. That doesn't mean, and I'm not, some of you may be religious, some of you may not be, but I am not religious. I have a connection, a deep connection with God. And I've built that connection, from the time I decided to heal, and it's grown, and I see things from a different perspective. Whereas before, in the beginning of the healing journey, I was just mad at everything and everybody, and I started to see these things as unlearned lessons. And once I learned them, I can move forward, move on. And that's what's important, guys. And then open other doors that open up are better people, better situations, meaning people who are really going to care about you, friends that have your back and who are there for you. So you can leave the maliciousness, the bitterness, the toxicity behind those doors that you padlock and close, and move over here. There are good people in this world, regardless of what's going on today. There are good things that will happen if you ask God to help you and you don't give up on yourself. Remember, your physical and mental health is everything, and we have to keep taking care of that. like, you put a seed in the ground, you have to keep watering it, and the plant starts to grow. It needs sunshine, water, and you have to self-care. And this is what we have to do with our physical and mental health, because if we don't do it, then we can't grow, heal, and evolve. And that's the why we're here, to heal, grow, and evolve. And then, excuse me, guys, allergies, sinuses. Anyway, what happens is that through my personal experiences that I've gone through, someone here may be listening. This video may be helping someone who may resonate with everything I'm saying here. Self-care, music soothes the soul. A playlist of music. This morning when I got up, I was just feeling some kind of way because yesterday was my mother's birthday. She's not here, of course. And it's Sunday, and I started to feel that grief again. And, I went to the gym. I sat in my car, but I listened to some music for a minute, got out, and was able to work out. Not as long as I wanted to, but I got there. That was the whole key factor, is getting there. And, little by little, step by step. So, people, you're going to have days where you're like, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. And then you're going to have the days where you don't even want to get up. It's okay. We're human. Don't be too hard on yourself. And if you have a day like that, then make the next day, okay, this is what I'm going to do the next day. I failed to do so today, but tomorrow I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. So, no, look at it as the metaphor I use, taking a step, fall down, get up, keep going. The key factor is to never give up on yourself, because your mental and physical health is everything. And we want to strive to be at a place of inner peace instead of broken down in pieces. That is the message today, guys. Let's continue to build and build up, share these videos with others. And the other key factor is to turn this pain into power, power into a purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help other people so that they can hear uplifting messages, and they can get motivated by it to help themselves. The key factor is not to just help ourselves, but to help others. That is what the key factor is as well. Thank you guys for being here. I'm really, really glad more and more people are showing up here. Thank you for being here. You guys have a great day. Happy Monday. And the weather's warm out right now, so that's a good thing. There's no snow. And thank you again. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. Until tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.